Hello everyone, it's Cristina Sauce in Tokyo, and today my eyes is a little bit swollen. Got a little inflammation, and then I'm already treating it with the eye doctor and skin. And I have been thinking about AI. How does it has changed everything in our daily lives, and how you can be a better human being with this machine here. So how to be a better human being. And of course, and then it has value what I'm doing. I don't know, but the thing is that I like to communicate it with other people, to question, to do kind of philosophy. But I have been just question, does it have value? Exchanging information, but you need to give value. And the machine can answer some of these values that you are teaching, but you still wanna have this warmth. I think the only thing and is to be a better human being to each other. And I have some question. Do you wanna hear from another human being or wanna hear from a machine? I think people can choose these days. And that's the thing. And that's why I'm going to continue to do is Cristina Sauce and telling my stories here, exchanging, and maybe guiding some AI to be more resilient, because when the first generative AI come was in 2021 in December. I remember that I had just finished my my little course. This was a little audio book course made by me without editor. It was pure raw material, but I put online to sell it. And then it's already here was for people who has many passion, and they sometimes can have a hard time to keeping organized or finish the projects. And then I put a method that I learned from many other people, but I could even remember. I summarized it, the thoughts. I synthesize like that and put online. If you want to check it, I'm selling it for $30 or so. I don't know if it's going to sell, but it's my project. Maybe I put free at some point. If you want to know, there's a lot of confessions about my life there. If you're interested. Okay. I'm not PR my stuff, but just telling my story that. And if it does it has value, I had existential cries. At the same time, I was aging, and for aging, we have we change our hormones inside us, not because we want to change. Our biology is changing as we age, and then it affects the hormones of humans, and you need less stress. I was so stressed. Then you're having an existential crisis. For people who write, for people who I pretty much I want to do writing. I want to do. It affects education. Not the educator. You need to be a guide, a coach, and then I want to be a coach, a guide. I still being a coach, kind of educate, guide. I hope so. I continue doing that. And then, of course, the machine can be good. And then these days, I don't want to be the machine. I just use the machine to organize from now. Here, I'm not going to use anything, but I'm doing the technology, the camera, the this stuff, and microphone to get better, these old technologies. But of course I question myself, because there is thing that's still kind of unfair, because people doesn't understand much about the machine learning, and these people who knows that, hey, let's do that. Like, I watching Toy Talk, a guy who has a language machine learn, and he's like basically that some people, like the first machine learn that was ChatGPT, the first version, they use the data to feed there. That's the machine is fed by data. And then they didn't ask for a license. That's why the rights starting having a existential crisis. And I'm not quite a writer, but I starting doing book course, and I started like, wow, what am I going to do in my life? At the same time, my body, biology, neuro was in change. Now it's more in equilibrium. At the beginning, I could not, it was too much stress, too much cortisol in my body. But that's the key, how to keep your resilience with the machines that you have today. And the thing is how we can work with AI, generative ones, to be our allies, not our enemies. I didn't see it as enemy, but it made me feel kind of useless as a human being. But I decided to play my human side from now, and that's what I'm doing, because I like to express myself, to be part of the biological system that you live here in the planet, and the machine regurgitating things out there's meaning there, but it's filled with data, human data. There is a lot of bias. And then I think from now, if you can feed the machine with the human taking all the sub things that you have inside, that you was in a bad humor, you are in a bad mood, and then if you can see why we are in that bad mood, why we have these beliefs. So to find your well-being camp, to find your RWC that I tell here, that is the thing, that to find your ibasho is to find comfort inside ourselves, despite of the system, the economic system, like the prices are raising, and how not to fear too much. And I mean, how to have a rise in your place by having the robots, the machine, how to make it sustainable is my question for our well-being, and I leave you thinking about it. How to use the machines to have the basic needs and the psychological needs to being our biological equilibrium is my question. And then I leave you thinking about that. If you want to think what you're going to do, choose the machine in ethical ways, the better we can, despite all the machines not being was not fair for the writers. I feel sorry for myself, I feel sorry for others, because influencer jobs, and how to live better. Because I had this vision, like, if you are feeling good about yourself, I think you can recreate the system. Recreate means you can make improvements in the system, the Kaizen, to live. The whole plant has food, health, and psychological. supplies or our psychological and physiological needs is the question. To find your ibasho is the first thing, to try to feel, to see our positive and negative sides. How you take a lantern and say, hey, today I'm like that. Did I have a little trauma, a little things that went in my past? Can you see my history, like with the lantern in your hands? So to illuminate our past and see clearly the truth that is seen through the eyes of each person. That's unique perspective. And then from that you can design better systems. So this is, find your ibasho inside, find your comfort inside first, and then you can design good things in life. And so you can have food, psychological needs supply, and feeling good. So find our well-being come. Okay, I know that I'm being kind of boring here today, so maybe ask the machine, how can I get better at communication? But I'm being very raw today and showing my human side in the morning with my eyes that's a little bit swollen today. I got a little bit of inflammation. Maybe last week I was tired because we start a new routine here. And then how to be resilient in these times of AI is the question and the key, and how to understand ourselves, what means to be human being with the positive and negative sides, and seeing our negatives and design with the positive side. That is like be creative, have all these nice things. That my well-being is your well-being, is not just me. And that's the question. And probably I may educate some topics, not educate, but talk about some topics from now more about AI, how to be a better human being. I'm still learning, I would say. Okay. All right. Okay, the talk has been long. Maybe some people are bored. But that's it. I'm sharing my humanity here. Okay, find it with us, Cristina Sauce in Tokyo. Find your well-being camp. Find your WC. And see you next time. If you wanna subscribe to keeping this little talking with me. Here I am, and yeah, there is no such a perfect human being. I'm playing here my imperfect role. I may edit a little bit to not annoy you too much, but I'm proving along the way to be a better communicator. Okay. Bye bye. And it's a very intimidating talking today to think about what's bring well-being camp to your lives. Bye bye.